You know, everybody's very focused on the midterm elections, and rightly so. Very important, the midterm elections. But you know what strikes me? I've, I've been here a lot. I've been here many times. This happened under a Democrat president. It was not fixed under a Democrat president. This has continued under a Republican president. It's certainly not going to be fixed under this guy, who, I mean, now he's throwing out racist things, calling Barack H. Obama, which is obviously a racist dog whistle. You know, you had a Democratic Congress. Well, no, the Republicans were the majority when this happened, but aside from holding hearings, what did the Democrats do? Certainly, what did the Republicans do? You got people in the city council here that were frankly made powerless because you had an emergency manager. But it just seems to me we elect people, whether it's Democrats, Republicans, all over this country, and nothing's been done. Nothing's been done. Again, the actual governor and his officials that caused it were allowed to be the ones basically overseeing the recovery. Does it give you hope that there's elections coming up? Or do you feel kind of like Democrats, Republicans, they all let us down and everybody's kind of forgotten?
Actually, I don't think it's Democrat or Republican. This is a human problem. And I think the humans forgot that. I'm Republican, so I'm reserved. I'm Democrat, so I want to do for the people. We're at odds with each other. This is a human issue. And yes, it's a great thing to vote. It's an important thing to vote. But you have to realize a lot of people can't vote because their voting rights have been taken. And they've been taken for a reason. Because certain people want to stay in office, certain people want to get in office. But this is human. This has nothing to do with politics. And the governor shouldn't get off. The presidents shouldn't get off. But the presidents only know what's reported to them, whether it's President Barack Obama or President Trump. I'm not putting it on either one of the presidents because they have so many people under them that drop the ball. So I'm not going one way or the other with the politics. It's human. These people act like they're not human because they're better. The slogan is, we're going to make America great again. America was great when people cared about one another, not when people cared about money, not when people cared about your race, not when people cared about where you were born, not whether they cared about what kind of car you drove, what house you lived in, what neighborhood you lived in. They didn't care. You were a human being and they cared about you. So that's when America was great. Not when you were rich, a millionaire, billionaire, all that, buy anything you want to buy, throw stuff away. When people cared about one another. When people weren't dying of starvation. When people weren't dealing with this water. We're not the only one dealing with water. Now it's other people that are dealing with it. Now it's coming out. But the other people are still, guess what, in the state of Michigan.
Including Detroit.
Including surrounding areas. The schools are having issues with water and lead and all that other good stuff. But it has to do with being human. When can we go back to being human and care about one another?
Powerful. Mama, you should be proud.
I am very proud.
This is one hell of a woman. Thank you for taking the time, and we'll stay on it. As a reminder, here's what you could do. I understand the midterms are on Tuesday, and everybody's focused on that, but do me a favor. This story, we worked on it for months. Very, very important story. This story was killed by 3 news outlets, which I'll let you know a little bit more about that at another time. Those news outlets didn't want to touch it. You want to know why? Because it didn't involve Donald Trump, it didn't involve Russia, and they're too lazy to do real reporting, or too corrupt. Maybe a mix of both. But this is real people's lives. You want to drive around Flint? People are suffering here. And Flint is a microcosm for the entire country. Because like she said, there's other places that are having water problems that the media is not covering it. The politicians aren't doing anything. So it's up to you, it's up to me. Share the article if you haven't read it. Make sure people in your community, hey, pick up the phone, call your congressman, call your senator. What are you doing about Flint? They probably don't know what's going on. If you can, we do have our GoFundMe going. We're trying to do more reporting like this. I think we have the link there. We're almost at 20,000. But the most important thing, you can't take we can't take the cameras off or eyes off this city and this state and this situation, because if you do, they're just going to do it everywhere else. That's the playbook. When power, when what's the word? Absolute power, unchecked power is basically allowed to just, basically the reason they did this, the reason we found that they tested the wrong way is because nobody was looking. The state of Michigan didn't expect anyone to go knock on doors to see how they tested. So they just told residents to do it the wrong way, or they went in and had officials do it the wrong way. So share the article, post it on social media. This is a very, very, it's a scandal what they did here. Erin Brockovich called for criminal prosecution in our story. We have Congress people looking at it right now. So it might not sound that sexy, like, oh, they ran the water. It's not as sexy as, you know, Trump tweeting whatever he's tweeting at the moment. But it affects lives, because if they ran the water, if they tested the wrong way, do we really know what the actual lead levels are in Flint? Do we know if people that are drinking out of the tap right now are drinking lead? That's the point. That's the point. So thank you for watching. Share this video, and we are going to be here up through the election, because again, this is the election that's going to put a new governor into Michigan. You got Gretchen Whitmer. You know, she's not exactly progressive, but she's way better than Attorney General Bill Schuette. Bill Schuette is mini Trump. He's a mini Trump, the Republican nominee. And frankly, he, as Attorney General, I have sources, pretty good sources on this. He did not, he put his foot down and did not let his prosecutors touch Rick Snyder, the Republican governor. He would not let them go after Rick Snyder, which is a whole different story. So this election in Michigan is very, very important for the people of Flint, for the recovery of Flint, for accountability of who people need to be in jail. If you poison your citizens, whether you do it intentionally or just because you're negligent, if you sign up to be a public servant, you need to be held responsible when you kill people or you get people sick. It's that simple. So we will be here for the next few days. We'll be putting videos up, and that's it. Peace.